Hi guys. Okay, so you see a little bit of a different background. I'm at Heather's today, and if no one knows of Heather, she's got a fantastic little treatment center here in Newport Beach, and you can do your before and after body scans, which just from 2 weeks from her. I don't know if you guys have seen it for the X49. She doesn't change anything. She's very consistent like me, so we're very good test cases. We do the other patches, the X39, the stem cell patch that resets over 4,000 genes in your body. And then you've got the Eon patch that is the happy patch and lowers inflammation in the body and helps with sleep. And the Alavita patch for skin. And Marcy, maybe you can jump in on some of the other benefits of Alavita in a minute. But the X49, as we heard David talk about, is very, very well known for building muscle mass and for burning fat. And whether you're a 70-year-old man and you need to double your strength in 60 days, that's what's happening. Or if you're a teenage Olympian who David was talking about, that person is benefiting. So I've got my 3 kids on the X49. I've got my husband on it, and my husband is pretty darn consistent with his diet, and he has a body scan thing at his gym. So we're waiting to see that. But I can tell you, for me, in 2 weeks, I'm like sitting there doing the push-ups going, why is this so easy all of a sudden? I have put on 2 pounds of muscle and in 2 weeks. And I also feel like my hair is growing in thicker, and I'm super sensitive about my hair. I've got these daughters with gorgeous thick hair, and I wish I had it. I used to prepubescent hair. And as I've aged, it's gotten thinner. And so my hair is something that I am checking all the time. I have spent thousands of dollars on supplements for it. And I feel like those are going to go away between the liquid biocell collagen, the MyVital C. And I want to speak to that because the MyVital C is working very synergistically with these patches for anti-aging. I am 40, turning 46 next month. I have 2 gray hairs. I have an older sister, a younger sister, an older brother. All 3 of them are totally gray. So I am set on taking those 2 gray hairs and making it 0. And I will keep you posted. But that is also from the MyVital C. But with the X49, there have been a lot of reports on hair growth for both men and women. We have to be careful talking about that because it's a medical condition, and that's not the category these stem cell patches are in. I just got in my group chat, Beth, who has been a superstar client of mine since, gosh, February. And I was hoping she was going to jump on. And if she does, we can have her tell us herself, cancer survivor or currently in treatment. She's been doing my supplements. She's been, I've been pushing her to eat a little bit of meat. She's now eating some fish because she was vegan. She's now going from not exercising at all to walking and now using a vibration machine. And now she's added in the X49. So her message says that after 1 month of using X49, she has decreased her visceral fat by a huge amount. I don't even, from 228 to 204. That is a significant difference. And the visceral fat is the dangerous fat around your belly. It's the hard fat. So if it's not the fat that jiggles. The fat that jiggles is the white fat. And on my website, if you're interested, there's an article that differentiates all the different fats. There's white fat, there's beige fat, there's brown fat. Brown fat's the healthy fat. Brown fat is full of all the dark mitochondria that is producing heat in the body. Visceral fat is the dangerous fat that leads to chronic disease. And then there's fatty liver fat. Well, her visceral fat went down, hold on, let's see here. It went down from 228 to 204, and then her body fat went down another 1.3%, and now it's at its lowest since she's been measuring in 2018. her skeletal muscle down a little bit, but it's higher than the initial drop due to the cancer impact. So you've got that. And her weight is down 6 pounds. So that's in a month. So we are on we have till 3 o'clock. Marcy, do you want to talk about what you know about the X49?
Well, sure. First of all, wow. Like, hello, if that doesn't make you want to go put that X49 on for men right underneath the belly button, because that's your CV6 or your central vessel, which is the belly of your immune system, according to Dr. Melina Connor, who actually is the main researcher behind all the patches. I was blessed, Sarah, to talk to her for 2 hours a few weeks ago. And so I thought that was really interesting. She really likes under the belly button for most patches, and for men, the X49. But for women, she likes the X49 to go right below the right knee. And actually, it's between right below the right knee and kind of on the right side of the leg. So you go up from your ankle up to right below your knee, kind of to the right, and you'll feel like a soft spot. And she says that's where the X49 goes for women, because that's the bone spine. And so we get X49 in women grows bone. Hello, that's pretty cool. So I thought that was really interesting to know about that. There kind of is a his and a her spot. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so that was a big lesson for me. And then, just the what David said about the X49 is pretty amazing. And that is, and if you've heard this before, I'll just say it one more time, because sometimes hearing it twice is better. But it is the daughter peptide of GHK copper peptide, which is the peptide that X39 activates to stimulate stem cells. I would like to say that X39, according to David, is all about repair, turning into the cells that can only turn into cells that you need to have to repair, right? So they're pluripotent stem cells. They have the unique ability to turn into any cell you need for repair. That's X39. X49 is the daughter peptide of GHK, which is AHK. The daughter peptide also stimulates stem cells. So they're both stem cell patches. One is just for repair, X39. X49, he likes to say, is for strength and performance. And so, okay, well, according to the testimonials, that sounds about right? Strength and performance. Absolutely. And right. And as you said, it goes for both. It goes for like someone like me. I'm 54. I'm weak. My grip strength is weak. Opening up a jar of peanut butter can be hard for me sometimes. I'm not Sarah. One day I will be. However, for women like me, grip strength increases by 71% on X49. Hello. And then for the athlete, obviously you already heard what Sarah said about herself. What did you say? 2 pounds of muscle? Just think of you. Muscle. 2 pounds of muscle for somebody that works out. Hello. So for both. And then he says that in 60 days, you will decrease your fat by 10%. And what I find is interesting is what you guys are actually experiencing is matching what the research that he's talking about says, right? Like, yeah. That's pretty incredible in that regard. And then, then he says a couple other cool things. He says, not only does it do that, but it does help with hair growth, just like you said. And it helps with what EMFs, like we all know that we are on the cell phone way too much. I'm going to my colonic on my cell phone on Zoom, and it's not so good for us. And he actually showed a picture of what your brain looks like when it is by a cell phone or by 5G and all that crazy. It basically goes hot or red. And X49 protects against that, which is amazing. Once again, we already talked about it protecting on bone. It increases bones. And for people like us, I do not want to be in my 70s with that arched back. I don't want osteoporosis. And I'm a breast cancer survivor, and I'm more at risk, for bone. And so I was really excited about, for myself personally, the bone growth of X49. And then the other thing that's crazy, and this is once again, it can help, flip brain issues. And And once again, I am not, I am not intended to speak about curing, treating, preventing any diseases, but two things that it really helps with according to the information is ALS and Parkinson's. And, maybe I'm not supposed to say it, but I think I need to say it, so I'm saying it. So those are the things that X49 really helped with. So let's say those things again: strength, fat loss, hair growth, bone growth, brain issues, and EMF. I mean, what doesn't it do? It's such a long list that it's kind of overwhelming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I can't believe that I didn't even come right out and talk about the EMFs at the forefront, because this has been a huge passion of mine, where I'm showing up at the city council fighting 5G, and then we go into COVID and all of this radiation, all the towers are being put up during 5G, COVID. And even there is radiation in the vaccination. So whether you choose to get it or not, we are all needing to detox from that radiation and from the heavy metals. And that's why I've put together my radiation and detox cleanse or bundle on my website. So important: the accelerated silver, the acceleradine, the nuke no more, and the detox powder. But now we have a patch. We have a patch for those people that don't want to do anything I say when it comes to supplements and diet, but it's something that can help you. I don't have my earbuds in right now because I'm trying to limit it. I feel like these things are poisoning my brain, but now when I do have to wear them, I feel like I have this little bit of protection from that. And something else, Marcy, we didn't even talk about, it helps with erectile dysfunction. It helps.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If it helps with that, that is a circulation issue, and that is a hormonal issue. So if that's helping that in men, you can only conclude what it's also helping with women in their hormonal struggles that they go through. I ran into another client of mine that's in her early 60s. She goes to work out and she goes, "Sarah, this is really weird. I'm hungry. I'm extra hungry with the patch, but I'm lifting heavier. What is going on? I'm not supposed to be lifting heavier as I'm in my 60s. And for me personally, this last year, for some reason, I've seen a decline in my muscle mass going, okay, this is what people talk about when you get into your mid 40s. This is not fun for me because I love being strong. I love lifting weights. I love working out. And then all of a sudden, I'm seeing that trend go in the opposite direction in such a quick turnaround. It was super exciting. And I almost feel like my bones are stronger. I don't know if that's, I just feel more grounded, and maybe that's the EMF protection, or maybe it's the bone density. But this is something that you guys really need to think about, as we've all grown up in the era of weigh yourself and your value. Your self-worth is that scale. Give the scale to your worst enemy, because bone density weighs more, muscle mass weighs more, and all of the fat going down. So if you lose fat weight, or 2 pounds of fat weight, and gain 2 pounds of muscle, and you're the same weight, you are essentially magnified or improved your body composition in so many ways, but the scale's not telling you. So that's where a machine like Heather's, where it does a full body scan, and what Beth did, her in-body scan, that tells you the phase angle of the cells, which is your cancer risk and your risk of diseases, but then your visceral fat, your body fat, your bone density, your skeletal muscle. So if anyone's local in Newport Beach or Southern California, you can do a before and after here at Heather's. We're doing a competition for the next 60 days over it. But regardless, those are just some things to think about. Pay attention to the way your clothes fit more than what the scale says. I'm really excited. Marcy, one thing that I'm hearing, and this is not about the X49, but it's the X39. Some people are reporting that they feel tired. Now, my intuition is that it is very detoxifying. And when you're detoxing, your body can get a little fatigued and tired. You need more hydration, and that's not just water. That's the electrolytes, the accelerated ancient salt, the quintessential 0.9 or the Olaloa. Those three things are great ways to get your hydration in to help the cells pump. You've got a sodium potassium pump on the inside and outside of every cell. If you are low on one of those two things, it's like a battery with the positive and the negative. It's not going to work. And so you're not hydrating your cells regardless of how much water you're drinking. So you need to drink a lot of water, but you need to also be flushing the cells out with also the proper electrolytes. That's also where the accelerated keto comes in, and the detox powder, because that powder is soaking up the toxins that the X39 could be releasing and carrying it out of the body quickly, easily. And the accelerated keto is boosting up the physical and mental energy, and also helping your liver detox and flush things out while you're detoxing with the X39. Your body, and Marcy, tell me if I'm wrong here, we're resetting over 4,000 genes. That is not an easy task. That's a lot to ask. That's not
a lot
just
to ask.
Tylenol, right? And so your body is going to be recovering and wound healing and all these little wounds that you don't see on your skin. You're focused on the wrinkles on your face, not on the liver that needs to regenerate, or the kidneys that have built up oxalate damage that is in there, and just detoxing in general. And now we're detoxing these heavy metals that we are being exposed to left and right, and the radiation. So all of that stuff is putting a huge burden on our body, and the X39 is having to work to clear it. Is there any other explanation of why someone would be tired?
I would say there's two others that are included, and thank you for that explanation, because I take your minerals, and I was thinking maybe that's another thing that helps me detox. And I also take your iodine. By the way, my body is loving it, and I probably know I need it. I don't know, it's really weird, but sometimes I put it in the cup or whatever, and I'm not coordinated, so I get it all over my skin and it turns yellow, and then it all absorbs in like 5 minutes. I'm like, I must need it. My body just took it instantly. And so anyway, so I really do enjoy not just the patches with you, but learning about so many things. So the only other two things on the patches that I would add is that sometimes your body is in something called flight and fright. It's where your immune system is over exaggerated. I mean, we're just go, especially, I don't know, most of us probably are women, some are men here, but you know how we are doing 20 things at once, and we're like, boom, 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 boom. And all of a sudden, you don't even realize that you have just really got your, what's that called? Your adrenals like overtaxed. Yeah. And I also think X39, if you are supposed to be in rest and digest, will put you there for a little bit because your body needs it. So instead of fighting it, why don't you allow yourself to rest for 2 days and let your body heal? Because the stem cell is going to go and do what your body needs done first to repair. And maybe that is to put you in rest. That's number one. Number two is that David says that when you activate new stem cells on old tissue turn the tissue young again. So he says that sometimes for 1 to 7 days, you can have something called a healing crisis, where the new stem cells are pushing out the old tissue, and there's a battle going on. You know, the old tissue is like, I don't want to go. And the new stuff is saying it's time to go. And there's some inflammation that can make you tired until it moves out. That's why sometimes, like, let's say you have a sore knee and all of a sudden your knee gets sore for a week. And then all of a sudden your knee like cracks or something. And then all of a sudden you like feel perfect. You know, that is what he calls the healing crisis. So maybe those are a couple other things that can happen, and why the X39 could make you tired for a little bit, but move through it, because after that, it's like you feel 10 years younger. I mean, the studies even show, he did a study that showed 14 out of 15 people after 6 months on the X39 through blood work showed that they decreased their age by 8 years. I mean, yeah, it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and I'm tracking my biological and chronological age, and I'm aging backwards, factually. And you know, I was joking with someone on the call. I won't call her out, but we're the same age. We grew up together, and she was just saying that her skin, her son is making fun of her skin as we're getting older. And it's that kind of age. I'm never doing Botox. I'm not against people doing Botox, but I can tell you that when I first had my own healing crisis and was hit my rock bottom, my practitioner said, Sarah, you have so much food poisoning in your gut. It's botulism. That's the same thing as Botox. So ever since he said that, I'm like, why would I ever inject that same thing that made me so sick when I was younger to into my body? So not that there's anything wrong with it, and there's a lot of good use for Botox as well for headaches and that sort of thing, but I'm dependent on natural healing. I'm dependent on food, diet, all these other modalities to keep my vanity going, whether my, you know, my wrinkles away and my hair growing and all of this stuff. So with that being said, I'm going to use all of these tools. I know that within the first couple of days of using just X39, I was sleeping better. And we all know, if you read any of my blogs, all of the tips for healing this and healing this and healing this, one of them is sleep. It's a free tip. I can't do it for you. You've got to do it. I can't buy you a bottle of sleep. But saying that, the X39 helps you sleep. And you can't produce new stem cells, and you can't do engage in what we call autophagy. Autophagy is the recycling and cleaning up of diseased and damaged and cancer cells. That process doesn't happen if you're not sleeping.
Wow.
So sleep is important. These patches trigger the autophagy. I have an article about autophagy, how to reverse aging. X39, X49, accelerated keto, a liver flush, the accelerated iodine, the accelerated silver, eating a low carb, high protein diet, making sure you're getting in that protein. I've also talked in my group chats about this awesome thing called the Genius Insight app. And this is where I scan my body with my voice every morning, and it will tell me, oh, Sarah, you've got COVID, or you've been exposed, or you have a candida, or your hormones are out of whack, or your serotonin is low today. This thing is amazing. Well, what has it shown up in I don't even know how to say it. It's getting an imprint of something that's going on in my body for the first time. Alanine. Alanine is the amino acid that you find in animal protein, but it's what the X49 is based on. So David talks about that being the amino acid that the X49 is based on. This, that has no clue what the X49 is picking up that all of a sudden my body is using a lot more alanine to build muscle. So isn't that kind of cool? And that's where I love what I do, because all of my brilliant mentors, they don't know each other, right? I've got these people that I am the test subject. My family is the test subject. I've got things like this. I've got my other machine called the amp coil at home. I've got all these things to tell me and give me feedback or biofeedback, and no one knows each other. And they all confirm certain things. And that's where I then go, okay, this is what's true healing. And this is what's going to heal 99% of people. Of course, there's certain people that you have to dig in deeper with, but this machine doesn't know what a stupid patch is that's on my body right now, but it picked it up. So the stuff is real. The stuff works. I do want to mention with the alanine gosh, there it is right there. David mentioned that if you're vegan and you're not eating animal protein, you do need to supplement, and that with an amino protocol and BCAAs. There's a whole bunch of supplements out there that you can get, or complete aminos is a good one. I always recommend eating real food. wild animal protein, lamb and bison. Bison is easy to find now. Lamb is too. There are companies around the United States that you can go online and have it delivered. One of my favorites is called Buy Ranch Direct. They've got beef, bison, lamb, yak. I've never eaten yak, but they've got it. They have the most delicious sausages in all the different types of meats, even salamis. They even have lamb salami that is so delicious. All of these things, and they can show up at your doorstep. If you're in Southern California, they deliver for $10. If you're around the country, it gets FedEx to you. But there's other companies too. So look into that as options for meat delivery systems. This also makes it super easy as a mom because we're multitasking. I pull out meat out of the freezer 15 minutes before I cook it, and I throw it in the pan or on the barbecue. All of my dinners are done within 30 minutes. I do not make things complicated, and my kids are thanking me for the food that I'm serving them. So wild fish as well, wild fish, wild meats, wild organic eggs. That's going to be your source of those amino acids that are so important for building muscle, bone density, for the X49 to work, for the detoxification, the processed foods, the vegetable oils, those inflammatory foods are going to make you feel more sluggish, make you more tired. They're hurting your body, so your body's having to work harder to do the work that the patches are supposed to do. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on the diet. Once again, really important for the hydration, and not just with water. You can actually become dehydrated if you drink just water. But the quintessential 0.9, which is literally the exact composition of our blood plasma, is that quintessential 0.9. So you take it in and your body's like, oh my God, I love this. I'm bathing in what I want, what my blood plasma is. And it's very healing to the body. If someone's sick, you can just take it like 3 to 6 times a day. It will really help boost your immune system with the silver and the acceleradine, of course. So we are almost out of time. Was there any other questions before we go? All righty, we are taking a vacation next week. I will, of course, continue to post things in the group chat on Telegram and ask your questions in that group chat. The feedback from everybody's awesome, and the support is too. So I'm super grateful for all of you, and just super grateful for this part of the business. LifeWave, amazing. I don't have to sell certain products. I don't have to. This was thrown into my lap, and it's frequency healing. It makes you younger, healthier, and my motto is how to increase your frequency in life. And you, as you're building a better physical body, your mind and your spirituality increase as well, and you will become your best self. So I'm grateful for all of you and your support, and let me know how I can serve you as we go forward. I will have this recording up in the chat, hopefully later tonight. And if I don't talk to you in person or over the phone, have a very Merry Christmas, and be just away from the stress. Let it just wash away if there's any stress during the holidays, and I have to tell myself that. And just be in the present and really appreciate what we have, because we've got a lot. We've got a lot just with this community. All righty, guys. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks, Marcy, so much.
Thank you. It was lovely.
Okay. Bye-bye.